odpoczynku. Światło odbija się od budynku do budynku. Lato, czerwone słońce, piasek we włosach i morze. Lato, czerwone słońce, piasek we włosach i morze. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia.
To those of you who've only met for the first time today, a man who cares deeply for others, who has a passion for getting people together, and a founder member of One Golden Nugget, the man who enabled today's event, Eduardo X. Hello, Eduardo. Let's have a round of applause.
Why do I do what I do? Because for me, the why is what is missing mostly, in life for many people. And usually we find out the why when we get that kind of, what do they call it? Middle-age crisis or 30-year crisis. I've been searching the answer for the why for a long time. So this is my why presentation. Let me share it here. So I was born in Chile in 1973, and that was like my first why, because they took my father, because he believed that people should be able to read and write. And they tortured him for 3 years for believing that, So I remember when I got to know my father, it was like a ghost, I didn't know what it was because he came back as something else, and it took him many years to heal, and me and my mother and my sister, we had to live where we could get fed, because that was tough times, So that was my first why, was like, why did they do that to my father, And that became kind of my quest in life, to find the answer to that why, like how can a human do that to another human? And at age 5, we came to Sweden as refugees. Like my father, they had released him. They didn't kill him, luckily, as they did with many other people. And I remember going to Sweden. I was so happy, coming to this new country. It was like going to Disneyland, But what I didn't expect, that was only the beginning for me, as a child, to experience hell on earth, So I came to something that was today like racism. For me, that's like popcorn, what we see today, It was nothing when I came, like Nazi skinhead was a fashion, Every day I go to school and back to school, I see a swastika and says blackhead go home. Every single day, in the play yard, wherever I went, it was there. But they gave me a gift, like I found the library, so I had to hide there, and I started to read these books from all the world. Like first, I read everything in the children apartment. I did it methodologically, actually. I took one book, the second, and then I went, and then I said, I read all the children books. What do I do now? So then I started to read like grown-up books, right? So at age 11, 12, I thought that Gabriel Garcia Marquez was a hero, actually. And my friends, they were like reading Spider-Man. But I couldn't spell, actually. I had problems spelling, I found out I had dysgraphia. It's a spelling disorder, So my mother were very disappointed because the teacher said, your son is highly intelligent, but he don't show it. Like he doesn't do homeworks. Like, and his understanding is on another level, but he writes like a 5-year-old, right? So I felt so bad about that for my mother. And I'm from Latin America. And the one thing you don't make your mother cry. At age 12, I discovered a computer. And that was the first time in life I found passion. Like when I saw that computer, it was a Commodore 64 at a friend's house. It was like the skies opened for me. And like that was the first time I felt a whole intervention. You could say this was my destiny in life. But we were poor, so we didn't afford. So I started to work actually at age 12 to buy all those computers that I bought all these years, like Amiga 500. I have every console that you can imagine. So I became like the nerd, right? So once I hit my teens, now like these skinheads, they were not coming like to beat me up. Now they were coming with knives. So I had to stop toughen up, So I started to box, and now they didn't mess with me, like, because I became quite good at fighting, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to leave me alone. So I had to become the T-Rex around T-Rex, but eating carrots, It was like, and I hated that, because I was not one of them, but they forced me to do that, because I found a book that changed my life. That was the Malcolm X, the biography of Malcolm X, that taught me to have pride in my color of skin, that taught me that I have a worth of existence on this world, and also like when the Public Enemy record came out, that changed my life forever. And I still remember today, I was 15 years old, sitting with only Swedes, my friend, and they said to me, Eduardo, we like you, but the rest can go home. And then I realized they hated the guts out of my family, and maybe they were writing those swastikas on the wall. And that changed my whole personality forever, I could say. But it took me some years to like kind of drop that T-Rex attitude that I had for some years to survive, So what happened was at my 20s, my mother passed away, and that was the biggest blow in my life, because she was like the only person that had believed in me all my life, So she passed away, and I remember that I cried for 1 year, actually, every day. But I couldn't show it because she said to me that you need to take care of your sisters, You need to be strong for them. So I had to hide in the toilet every day to cry. I did for 1 year, actually. And that was actually the first time that I experienced like depression, you could say, what that was. But the thing with me is that I have already been killed 9 times before that. So, and that was the why that I asked God, like, how can you do this to me? You took my childhood away, like my father, and now you take my mother. And that was like my final why, where I lost fear, you could say, to anybody or anyone. Like I don't have fear for nobody. Like you can come whoever you want, I will not fear you. But what I do fear from all my heart is to fail as a father, as a friend, and as a leader, I would say. That is the only thing I fear in life today, And I lost that day, because now God could not do anything to me anymore. That was like the last kind of thing they could do, right? So I got my life together, went into university, and went back to my nerd, you could say. So I became Eduardo the nerd. Within 3 months, I started to consult. 2000, I started my first company. I was nominated to Future Star of Telecom in Sweden, and I was still studying. That was quite funny. Everybody was like PhD. So at the peak, what I thought was the peak of my ride, I had like almost 30 employees. I was in Founders Alliance. And this is the thing with me, like I don't recommend nobody to work like I do. I'm a workaholic. I had a sofa in the office to work until I fall dead, sleep 4 hours, and continue to work. I did that for years, actually. And that didn't end good, I can tell you. So I did a burnout around 2009. And I was 1 year in hell, you could say. And that was a hell. I didn't, even as a child, for me, it was a beaten up, had my head in the toilet. This was on another level. This was totally on another level. I could tell you, like, if you never experienced depression before, I can tell you, imagine the worst feeling you had in your life, but it goes on second after second, day after day, month after month, and it doesn't stop maybe for 1 year. And that is what happened to me, So when I came back from that burnout, I couldn't talk to people. And I'm the guy, I take the center stage wherever I go. That is my only gift. God gave me very few cards. One of them is that I make people believe, and I can take any center stage I want wherever I go, and I can open any door I want. That was the only good card. But the rest, I suck. I can't dance. I can't play football. You name it. All my other cards are bad, actually. So I couldn't talk to people. I forgot that after 1 year in a burnout. So what happened was that I had to start with this kind of sales job on phone to learn how to speak to people. Luckily, the Entrepreneur Network came to my rescue, and I thank from all my heart Niklas Karlsson, Founders Alliance, and they put me in contact with Thomas Strand that actually saved my life. And Thomas, if you're listening, thank you so much, man. I love you. And that was when I was able to start to come back, actually. And when I came back, I went too fast there. I asked this question to the therapist, was like, am I the only entrepreneur sitting in your sofa? And she said, Eduardo, on that sofa, we have like the board of directors. We have all the CEOs and a bunch of entrepreneurs that even don't fit the sofa. And I said that, why don't nobody write about this? And she said, stigma, Eduardo, nobody want to talk about their failures. And I'm the guy that now I'm tired of being pushed to the wall. Like I'm the dinosaur eating carrot again. I'm like, don't push me to the wall because I do something about it, right? So then I decided that if I could come back to a level where people listen to me again, I will tell the story, because all the books I found about hope was people that were still depressed. Like it was not like, and all my friends around me didn't talk about this, So actually, for me, nothing changed all these years. I've been on the same mission, but now I figured out the why. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the why. I'm going to write about the why and not hold back, because that is the problem. This is what I learned, actually. I will just speed forward here. What I learned mostly was that family always comes first. I learned that expect nothing, prepare for everything. That is everything you need to know about entrepreneurship. Don't go to a meeting and expect that, the client said or the investor said, we love your company, we're going to invest. You don't celebrate until they have given you the money in the bank, because that is called false expectations. You don't know that. So any entrepreneur, if I had a tattoo, it would be expect nothing, prepare for everything. That is what you need to do. I don't take nobody for granted. Whatever they tell me, I said, okay, thank you. But once you pay me, then, okay, you have delivered. The same goes for me. When people contact me for advising them in, I don't know, VCs about technology or like big companies about the science, it's the same. If I don't deliver, there's the door, right? And love your competitor. And that's something that so many people need to learn, like you talk to somebody, they like, I do this mindfulness well-being startup. And you're like, I do that too. Come on, everybody does this. Like you're not doing, probably most of us are not doing anything unique. The wheel was unique. Yeah. The rest was not unique. Radio waves to electricity were unique. Bluetooth is not unique. So don't come to me talk about blockchain. I'm the guy that can build that. Talk to me about you, because that is what Entrepreneur Capital is all about. We want to invest in the next Steve Jobs. Like if you have an IPO, patent, or I don't know what you have, like we know all that before. That doesn't impress us. What impresses us is how many times have you fallen down and get up in the morning again without hesitation. That is what impresses us, because that is what it takes to live the life that we live, because that is life. It's like a carousel. It will go up, but it will also go down, and you will fall flat on the ground. And that is what Entrepreneur Capital want to be. We want to be with you down there and help you up. We don't want to abandon you. And that is the reason that I had this idea for so many years, because that was my experience, with VCs and with other companies. But now they have improved. There's a lot of entrepreneur-funded VCs. I like them a lot. I'm actually limited partnering one, Mendoza Ventures. So make your breath count. Like you take one breath in and you leave, and you take one breath out, you're dead. Like you're not immortal. You're not Superman or Superwoman. Tony Robbins is not a god. He's just a human. Don't make idols out of other humans. There's only one guru here, and that's you. That's the fact. So as soon as you realize that, the better it is for you to create your own destiny, I would say. And you always have the choice between positivity and negativity. every second, every day, every action you take. Don't yell at the person coming late to a meeting. Maybe then he tells you, my wife, Dad, I'm sorry. What do you answer then? Always choose positivity. And there is no I in we. This is not Eduardo's trip. This is not Entrepreneur Capital. Is about everybody around me that I consider family. It's not like my show. You work with me, Maxwell, right? Is it my show when I enter the stage? Never, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm the best talker, maybe in some occasions when I talk about my things. But when I enter the stage, everybody's with me. I'm not there to shine. I shined enough. Now it's some other people's time to shine, actually. So that is my intention with Entrepreneur Capital. This will actually be my last speak in a long time for Entrepreneur Capital, because the stage is yours. I already been there enough. So my books will talk for themselves, actually. And this is another topic. I will not take too much time because I can talk about it all day. The only thing I can tell you, the big corporates have not gotten the picture. The research was done like 30 years ago. Motivational factors, what drives people, in the company. They don't get it, So that will take time to change, actually. And that is how industry works. And everybody needs to understand this, that when electricity came and all the industry leaders agreed that this was the next big thing, it took 30 years before it started to change. And that's the same time it takes to remove all the top leaders. So that is something we need to change. And that's the reason we started Digital Leader like Academy, because we need to be improved. The fact has said it all the time, So I will not take more time. I can speak about this forever. And the X doesn't show here, but I truly believe that everybody has an X factor. I truly believe that from all my heart. I think every person is unique. You're not a label, like, I don't know, all these labels, like my son, they got him all these labels. You're not a label. That's like spectra in an academic research. You're unique. Never forget that. So I'm on the same mission that I was since day one. I'm on a mission to humanize leadership and the workplace. And I intend to do it from my computer, actually. So that's the reason I'm here. And this is my why. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Eduardo.
Jesień to płaszcze, to wrzesień, spacery po żółtym lesie. Jesień to płaszcze, to wrzesień, spacery po żółtym lesie. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna. Gdańsk, Sopot, Gdynia. Tu wszystko się kończy i zaczyna.